Why doesn't this have a week on it? I feel like it's week 7. Let's see. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It is. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody. Okay, so new mic on board. We don't need it right up in my face, do we? And we're good to go. 1 minute till start time. I do have to tell you that we had no questions submitted for this week. This week is week 7. I'm just double checking to see if anybody submitted anything recently. Week 7 of the course, we only have 1 week left. So, in lieu of having questions submitted, I wanted to show you an app. I don't know, it's a website that you can use to further your content generation for marketing. It's not perfect, but it's kind of cool, and it kind of follows on our conversation about Chat GPT. So I will not fill the whole hour if we don't have questions added into the comments, but I will at least show you this app. So it is 12 o'clock on the dot. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to open up the app that I want to show you. I don't know if it's an app. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's cool. I did pay just to be able to demonstrate it for you, but they do have a free trial. And I will open it up for you in just a moment here. Okay, just do a quick little walkthrough. Share screen. There we go. All right, so if you're just joining in, we talked last week about Chat GPT, which can produce, all sorts of materials for you, and also is a great research tool, or at least preliminary research tool. You can have it script things for you like YouTube videos or TikToks. You can have it create blogs for you. And obviously, these are, drafts that you need to then do something with. So I want to show you what can happen when you blend Chat GPT with the functions of a program like Pictory. So the idea here is that you can take text and turn it into other things. So script to video, I can enter in a script here, and then it will create a kind of like video, almost like multiple video images put together. I'll show you one. You can take an article and turn it into video, and you can take edit videos using text. So you input a video from another source. I have not tried this one out. And visuals to video. So I'm imagining here you take a bunch of your short videos or images, add them in, and it turns it into a longer video clip. So I want to show you the first 2 here, just so that you have a good idea about how you might choose to use it if you want to. This is for more educational videos or like the best 10 tips for sleep kind of thing, or step-by-step guides. This one is better if you take a blog and you want to put it into video format or a press release or something like that. So we will just play for a second. I'm going to log into ChatGPT and grab some of the text that we created when we met last. Verify that you're a human. I know you can't see this screen that I am pulling up for ChatGPT. You are in the Pictory screen. So give me just a minute for it to load up. You know how it is. All right. So let's look at geez. There's a lot of stuff in here. let's just pull up overcoming imposter syndrome. Okay, so this is something that was Janet's ideal client, and it came up with all of this content. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this content. For some reason on my computer, it's easier to grab it from the bottom up. I don't know why. And I'm going to copy and paste it. Now I need to decide if I'm going to use this one or article to video. I think, oh, I see. You paste the URL here, but this one you can put the script in. So we'll do this one. I'm going to put the script in here. We're going to say overcoming imposter syndrome. Obviously, we give it a better name than that. We'd use our search tools, which you learn all about in the marketing intensive, but we're just going to put it in here. And I'm going to do a little bit of editing because I want these numbers to be right, and they're not. When they transferred over, they were wrong. Don't know why. That's okay. But I don't want it to mess up what we're doing. Woo! This will be quick-ish. So all we did is copy and paste and then fix a little bit of formatting if the formatting comes across wonky and it doesn't like that. We put a comma in there. Yeah, please do spell check. It's spell checked. I don't know why we would. Oh, so if we wanted to, neat. I haven't seen this before. Oh, dang it. Sugar. That's annoying. I did this wrong. We're gonna be patient and kind. We're gonna be patient and kind with ourselves. I'm sure that there's a faster way to do this that I don't know. So we're just gonna be patient and kind because otherwise we make more mistakes. All right, almost done. And I think that we will go ahead and use that highlight feature because the last one that I did in here, it picked some things that I didn't think were that awesome. So we'll highlight, we want it to acknowledge that. Dink, dink, this, dink, this. I think that it would have picked up on this anyway because of how it's formatted, but just in case. And then it's going to think for a little bit and I will come back to you. What's this? Scene settings, add visuals, create new scenes on sentence breaks, line breaks, both. We'll just leave it as is and see what happens. And then we go in here and you can either have uploaded a personal branded template or you can use their template library. So since we're talking about imposter syndrome, do we want to go for something that's kind of this or more this vibe? So I'm going to just pull one that I feel hits the vibe. The money ones are just they're not our vibe. All right. I think this looks pretty cool. So let's go with this. And then you can pick, do you want it to be 16 by 9, 9 by 16, or 1 by 1? That's going to depend on which platform you're wanting to put it on. I'm going to just go with, we'll just go with this. Okay. Now it is going to do a little bit of work. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen while it's doing that and just check the Facebook page to see if you've had any questions that you put in the chat that we can talk through while we're waiting for it to do its magic. It's a pretty neat little tool. It's not as mind-blowing as ChatGPT, but it could shorten things a little bit for you, make them not quite so time consuming. All right, Amy says, is there any way to join the Zooms for these Q&A calls or just watch via the Facebook group? So we only do live Zoom for folks who are in the small group coaching, and then we come in here for the Q&As. So just in the Facebook group for the Q&As. Feel free to drop any questions that you have in here. We did not have a lot of or any questions submitted for today's live Q&A, at least that are showing up for me right now. I'm going to just one more time hit refresh. Negative. Okay, cool. I'm going to see where we are with Pictory. Oh, okay. We're already, wow, that was fast. That was a lot faster than I expected. All right. I will share my screen so you can see where we are with that app. It's going to be just a second as it pulls up. Ew, gross. We're definitely, I don't like that. Okay. So for each scene you have over here, it's broken it into its own scenes, right? I don't like how, okay, we're just going to go through one thing at a time. So, intro scene. Let's say that you're not in love with the visual. You can go over here to visuals and you're like, not that one. Please give me something different. And let's see what we might pick. You can also upload your own. I haven't done that yet. Or you could just use textures. Do that to start with. Let's see what texture feels good and related. Ooh, maybe this one. Maybe this one. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I strongly prefer that over the other image. It looks like though it applied it to all of the things, which was not what I expected. I think I just pushed a button wrong. I would have liked an undo button in here. So let's go back for a sec. And I wonder, I bet you. Oh, let me grab an image. Let me grab an image for imposter. Let's grab that. Okay, so it just applied it to one. Here, we do have a previous button. Yeah, let me go back to screens. We're going to pick the same one. I'm going to pick this one here. We'll pick that. It's going to create the storyboard. And I'm going to go back to you. Oh, it did it so fast. Gosh, that was so fast. So, a few things that you can be aware of, right? You can change styles. So, let's say that you're not in love. Shall we show you around? No, thank you. You're not in love with some piece of it. And you know, it could be more your vibe if you had a different style in there. Like this looks like retro typewriter. I'm not madly in love with that, but let's say, yeah, I've yet to see one I'm madly in love with. I kind of like that one. I like that one. I also like that one. Let's go with that one. Yeah, I like that a lot better. And then if that's not the color I want, I can also change colors. We can go to different branding and you can literally say, I want this color for this kind of thing. Sorry, I clicked around a little bit too quickly for you. Go back. Here we go. No, I don't want you to show me around. All right, we're not going to add to template. We don't need to duplicate. We do want to add to all scenes. Okay, great. So we did that. Let's go back to visuals and see where we are. All right. So here are the visuals that it's giving us for some of the like some of the, use your words, Sam, imposter syndrome, for example. It's like, all right, what have we got here? I'm not feeling these. So what I might do, kind of like that one, imposter syndrome, including entrepreneurs and business owners. So what if we had a business owner that was kind of confident looking? We can, let's see if we've got a search here, confident, and what pops up. So I'm going to grab that. Okay. And I'd also like to move this down. And this story block comes off when you download. All right, then let's go ahead and go to our next. Let's go back to the story. So, imposter syndrome is a common issue faced by many successful people, including entrepreneurs and business owners. We're going to do just a couple of these. It's characterized by feelings of self doubt and insecurity despite evidence of achievement and expertise. So I'm going to go back to visuals. And had I not accidentally deleted the visuals for all of these, then there would already be visuals there. And then you could decide if you like them or if you want to swap them out. So I'm going to put here self doubt and see what comes up. Ooh, I love that image. So we'll put that in. Give me that one right there. Why isn't it? There we go. And I want to be able to see her face. I'm going to move that up. Okay. So you can imagine us doing this throughout. I'm not going to do all of them because you would be bored out of your mind. You can also add in elements like stickers, GIFs, emojis. We're not going to do that right now. And then you can choose audio. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it on the other side of the screen because of the way that the sound is set up on my computer, but I'm just going to pick one, see how this guy sounds. And then we're going to preview. So we'll pretend like we've done the whole darn thing. It's going to generate the preview for us. And honestly, what I would do is when you put in the script and it creates the thing, hold on, it's going to preview here. If you can't hear it, it has very cool music going with it. Okay, so we'll quit that. And you can do really cool stuff. You can change out the transition. So let's say that you don't like the transition they used. You can change that. You can also add more text if you want to do that. You can change the style back to how it was. You can add your own branding so that your branding is what's going to show up every time unless you select something different. And then let's slide down here to format because I don't actually know what that is. You can change the aspect ratio to be either side by side or landscape, portrait, or square. So I'm going to stop sharing. That was like a super duper quick overview, but I think it's a neat way to quickly get some content out there. All right. Amy, you submitted it. Yeah. Could you restate it here? We have an app that when you submit the questions, it kicks it out to a Google Doc for me. So it's really easy for me to find. But I think what we're finding is that it is not fast at doing that. And so when you submit the day of, sometimes they're not coming through. I apologize. All right. The question is if you can talk again about how to use the zip codes on site today to market to private pay clients. Would we research wealthier areas of the state where we are than where we are licensed and then use those somehow on our site today? Yes, you would do exactly that. So I'll show you. I don't have fancy magic here. I'm literally just Googling, but I'll show you how I Google. Let me share my screen. And we cover this in depth in the marketing intensive, and we cover it briefly in step by step. So, come on, computer. So, let's say that I'm looking in Florida and I want it to give me Florida zip codes by population density and socioeconomic status. Okay. So then it's going to give me that information. This is by population. And I just scroll until I find the data. What's the poorest? What's the wealthiest? So one thing that I might do is, let's see. So here we have wealthiest top 10. We have zip codes associated with those. And then if you wanted to add a layer, you could also look for demographics by zip code. So you could say, like, let's say that you work with new moms. That's an age group demographic. So you say, okay, cool. So Miami-Dade, they make a lot of money in this zip code here, this particular zip code. Let me look and see if there are what the average age or the median age or the most common age is in that demographic. So then I would say 33109 zip code demographic info. See what comes up. All right. That is very surprising to me that, oh, because it's not Miami, it's that particular demographic. Okay, okay, okay. So it's mostly white, Hispanic, then two more. Let's click this and expand it a little bit. The median age is 67.7 years. Now, one thing you'll find is many places that have the highest SES are also going to have an average older population, right? That makes sense because they've acquired wealth over many, many years. So I would just keep going down that list and look for the other demographics that match for your peeps, and then would target the heck out of that. Your follow-up question might be, how do I get those zip codes into Psychology Today? Let's see if I can pull that up. I no longer have an account with them, so we'll see if I can get in the back door. All right. They're not going to let me log in. Oh, maybe they are. Let's see. Let's edit profile. They're like, please give us your money again. So when I edit my primary location, I can put in line here, line here. Where do we get to the part where we can add zip codes? So you get one zip code here, and you're going to have to usually use an address that you're actually at, or if you know somebody and you can use their address, cool, do that. Oh, things have changed in here. Things have changed. But I was in here like maybe 6 months ago, and I saw where I target your listing. This might be it. They're going to make me. Okay, so here we go. In target your listing, you can add in the other addresses that you want to put in here. So your profile automatically appears in the area of your office location. You can choose up to 2 additional listings where you'd like to market your practice. So you get 2 full addresses, and then you get 2 additional zip codes. Okay. Let me know if that was helpful. I'm going to go back to the Facebook room so I can see. All right. What other questions do we have today, my friends? We will not meet for the whole time if we don't have questions for it, because I don't want to just make some stuff up. But this is week 7. So we only have 1 week left of meeting for step by step. So definitely, definitely ask anything that might be holding you back. And there's a delay. So even if you typed it and entered it right now, I won't see it. So I'm going to just wait a minute. You feeling good? How many of you, I see there are 8 of you here, are already in the marketing intensive? Let me know how that's been going. Hey, Pam, any of the videos that we do live here in Facebook remain in Facebook. And then we also, when I talk about stuff, so they will be here in Facebook under media, and then forever. And then we are also uploading them into the step-by-step course. So they'd be there forever. I did list my home address. That was my old home address, but you can hide it so that the public cannot see it. I also know people who have used a friend's address or a friend's office place. You don't have a registered agent. Yeah. The registered agent is so darn cheap, especially if you use your name rather than your LLC, that it might be worth it. It's like $35 a year or something like that. All right. If we choose not to fill out disability paperwork or write letters for dogs, does that go in the informed consent? Definitely the emotional support dog piece can go in there. I am not sure about the disability thing, because I would want to make sure that that doesn't violate the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. And I'm not sure if it does or not. I'm not sure about that. I would actually ask your liability insurance provider about that. My feeling is, I think I could pull the like, I'm not qualified to do that card, but if I'm specializing in trauma and it's a PTSD disability, then I can't really say that. So I would check with your liability provider. Do you have an initial intake form or template you like best? Do you use a biopsychosocial style? I do use a biopsychosocial style, and it is in the step-by-step course. It's long, and I love it. Yes, you will always be able to attend future step-by-step lives. We are considering moving to, because I think that what's going to happen is step by step is going to sell throughout the year as opposed to us doing like a live launch twice a year where we do 8 consecutive weeks. So would not surprise me if we move to doing monthly Q&As, which would actually be more Q&As for you. Would that be? Yeah, because we're only going to be doing step by step live once a year going forward. So that would be more live Q&As for you than in the past. Marketing intensive. Yeah, it is, Amy. So you can email me and we'll get you hooked up. The marketing intensive is a 12-week guided course, just like step by step is an 8-week guided course. I taught live for the first 2 cohorts. I'm still in the second cohort now. So if you were to purchase it not during a launch, you would have access to 2 cohorts of pre-recorded content. Does that make sense? That sounded like very confusing, but basically we've already recorded it and you'll see it. It's taught very different than step by step. So no PowerPoints. I have a Google Doc for each week, and I teach from that Google Doc. It's a very cute Google Doc. And you get to have that Google Doc as a workbook. So you make a copy and then you can type in your own answers and stuff like that. Every week there's homework. And it's marketing to fill with private pay clients. So you can do a hybrid practice of part private pay, part something else, or a full-time private pay practice. So it's all about marketing to private pay. It is it's the only that I know of marketing course that works for telehealth, because it goes beyond your local geographic location, and across states, across countries, etc. Most of the marketing training that I have seen teaches you how to do very similar concepts, but they're limited in geographic range. So this goes beyond that. It's a really, really cool course. Janet, you have access to step-by-step for life. So as long as I'm running the course, you have access to it. And if I'm old and gray and I'm like, y'all, I'm tired, I don't want to run the course anymore, you'll get a heads up many months in advance so that you can access whatever you need. Ray, about charging for your time with the disability assessments. I would again go to the ADA. We're allowed to charge for our time for lots and lots of things. Oh, no, I wouldn't go to ADA. I would go to your liability insurance provider because they're the ones that have your back more than anybody else. The reason that I'm thinking about this so hard is I just recently was talking to a coaching client who was in a situation where their client wanted them to fill out the paperwork for the disability assessment, and it was taking for freaking ever, but they weren't allowed to charge for paperwork according to, I think it was their particular code of ethics. So that's why I'm like kind of hedging my bets on the answer here, because it's going to depend on your state law, your code of ethics, the ADA, and the one group that will know the answer to all those things for you is your liability provider. Yeah, and the marketing intensive is freaking awesome. I love it. I love it. I wonder if I'll show you the page where we talk about it a little bit. Just got to load it up and then I'll share my screen for you. The sales page is so freaking pretty too. And that's all Chantel. She made it beautiful. All right, let me share my screen for you. There we go. Get private pay clients, earn more, work less without stressing about clawbacks, audits, profit splits, tech company ethics, or slimy marketing. 12-week guided experience to a full forever private pay practice. La, 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 la. Let's get into the deets here. This is all just telling you details about selling details, but let me get you to the content. Oh man, it's not going to show me the whole thing. So I will summarize for you. So we get real deep into your money, just like in step by step in the very beginning, but we do a much deeper dive. Then we get into how to define your flow client. Then we get into copywriting for therapists. Then we talk about what needs to be on your web page, your website, and where and how. Then we talk about how the heck we're going to get people to your website, which is going to be a combination of relationship marketing, SEO, and content marketing. And then I teach you how to do all three of those things. And that takes 12 weeks. Because we teach it on a Tuesday. I teach you the lesson. And then Thursdays, when you're going through it live, we co-work together for 2 hours. So you're getting to like do the work and ask questions while you're doing it. So when you get stumped, I'm right there to help you work through the stumped part. So if you were to get in early, like let's say you're like, I want in right now, we can let you in a back door so that you can go ahead and get started on the lessons. And then when we run it live, you'll be able to join us in the live round and do the co-working and all that good stuff. All right, let's see. All right. Ray says, I noticed a line when I received the paperwork saying about payment. Okay, so it says you could not receive payment for it. Let me know. Amy, I need the marketing intensive because I've shared I'm leaving my current job to do my own private practice. So exciting. I'm so stinking nervous about the time it might take to get private pay. And I'm filling out insurance panel info and working on OpenPath just to get going and making payments. Yeah. You know, Amy, if you don't want to get credentialed directly, you could always go through a company like Headway, which is credentialed themselves with freaking everybody. And the really nice part about Headway, different than being paneled yourself, there are two really nice parts, probably more. One is when you're working with an insurance company directly, you're not allowed to turn away clients unless they don't fit your clinical skill, right? So let's say you're like, no, but I want half my practice to be private pay and the other half to be insurance. Your contract with the insurance company says like, hey, if you've got a spot and this person is a fit for how you work, you have to take them. You can't say I'm holding this for private pay, which is total BS. But them's the rules. But when you're working with Headway, you can. And then the other piece with Headway is, let's say that they have 12 insurance companies that they work with and, 4 of them pay well and the other ones don't. And you're full with the 4. You don't need any more. You can say, I don't want to take, that company, or that company. I only want these companies. So that's pretty cool too. So you might consider that. The other piece is getting off of insurance panels can be difficult. I know people for whom it took a year to get off of the panel. So just be thoughtful about that piece. The minimum it's going to take is 60 days, and it's usually somewhere between 60 days and 12 months. All right. I would love to have you in the marketing intensive. Just email me and I will let you know. Yeah, Headway is awesome. And then you can also do EAPs. So those are similar in that it's the workplace paying for the person to go to therapy. And what's really cool about that is that many of them, let's say you see somebody for 8 to 12 sessions and the EAP, like Lyra, for example, will pay you for that client to see their person. My words are failing me. And at the end of the time that they cover, many of those people will continue with you in your private practice, private pay. So if you haven't already been paneled, I would look at those options first. It's just less of pain in the booty. Okay, it says if prepayment is required, please fax an invoice indicating number of pages, federal tax ID, and amount due. So are they saying, Ray, that the disability folks will pay for it rather than the client? This is beyond my scope of knowledge. So I would actually get into some of these therapists' Facebook groups, the bigger groups, and ask this question because this is beyond what I have done. So I don't know the answer and I don't want to lead you wrong. Other questions? How are we liking the new mic? Does it sound cool? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know either. I wish I did. Um, Janet's asking if you're with Headway or Soundermind, you have to alert them to get off of their insurance panels. So you're not really on their insurance panels. It's almost like being with a group practice that you're sort of under their umbrella. So I think you would have to give them notice that you were leaving, but it's not the same as getting depaneled. And somebody who can really speak to that is Kim Keller. I mean, Kim Keller, Kim Tolson. She is like a Headway expert. So let me ask so she doesn't have to listen to the video. Kim, come on, computer. At Kim Tolson. What kind of notice do folks have to give if they want off of Headway? All right. Nicole wants to know, can you talk about coaching and what it includes and focuses on? Do you mean my own coaching or coaching as an alternative to doing therapy? Let me know. Are you looking at doing coaching or are you wanting to sign up with me or somebody else as a coach? Ray, I'm sorry I couldn't give you better answers. Ah, okay. Well, it would depend on what you need. So I just made a ridiculously complicated graphic for me to understand myself, all the things that I offer and like how they all kind of fit in together. So I do one-on-one coaching. It is I can't remember how much it is. It was $297 last I checked, but I knew we were going to increase the rate and I don't remember where if we've done that yet. Those sessions in my mind are worth it if you have you've got most things figured out, but you have a very specific question that you need help thinking through. So, for example, if you're thinking about some kind of side hustle and you're interested in lots and lots of things, but you're not sure which of those things could actually turn into a side hustle. I love doing these What's My Jam sessions where we take a look at all the things you're passionate about and then figure out which of them can be profitable, which one's going to be profitable most quickly, which one can be profitable long term, and what does the path look like. Obviously, in 50 minutes, we're not going to figure out your whole life, but that's kind of a good example of something specific. I can't tell somebody how to market in 50 minutes. But if they've already picked their path to marketing, they're like, I'm going to go hard at relationship marketing. I've got the sorts of people that I want to get in touch with, but I don't know what to say to them. And I know who my flow client is. Then I can help you script that in a 50-minute session. But what usually ends up being way more helpful for people is to join one of the guided courses. So the marketing intensive is a guided course. I teach Tuesdays for an hour on the lessons that you need that week. Thursdays, we co-work together for 2 hours so that you can actually do the damn work and have me there to help you. And then if people are like, I know I'm going to want more support than that, they can get a VIP access, which includes giving me something called an asset review once a month. Or we write a freaking lot of copy in the marketing intensive. So they can submit an asset review, a piece of copy, like a page on their website or the script that they're going to send to doctors or whatever it happens to be. And then I review it and on video and send them the link to the video. And then they also get one-on-one coaching with me on Voxer, which is crazy. So we do have a limited number of those spots that we're willing to sell because obviously I can't coach 100 people one-on-one on Voxer. But that's a way that you can upgrade the experience. And I have something similar with step by step, so we have the regular course and everybody can come to these Facebook lives and submit questions. But then people who want additional support, they can get into small group coaching and we meet once a week during the live rounds of the course. So I can support them with more specific questions or give more like deeper guidance in those meetings than I'm able to give individualized feedback in these in these Facebook lives. And if you've ever been in step by step in the past and you're like, yeah, I bought this course, I did some work and then kind of let it lie for a while and I'm ready to get back into it, you can sign up for the leveled up membership anytime we run it live. So you can get that small group coaching anytime we run it live, no matter when you initially joined the course. You usually will get an email. You will always get an email from me saying, hey, we're running the course live again. Do you want us to send you emails each week about what we're covering in the course? And do you want to purchase Level Up and be in small group coaching? The other thing that I offer, oh my God, is something called Momentum. And Momentum is a mastermind group where those folks who already have training in marketing, but they need to actually implement more of it. And I don't care whether it's my training or somebody else's training. They're wanting to leave insurance or group practice or companies like Headway or EAPs and get more private pay clients and see fewer clients at higher rates. Those folks join Momentum. We meet 4 times a week. I think that's right. 4 times a month. Sorry, 4 times a month for most of the year. And there's something else that we cover in there and I'm losing it. Oh, yes, we create space for side hustles. So we do talk about side hustles in there. It's not a how to build a side hustle, but it is like, let's think strategically before you jump into writing a book. Those aren't that profitable right now. They're more of a marketing tool. Are you thinking about teaching this, or this? Okay, this one's probably better because you already have access to an audience. So we give some guidance to people who are just sort of getting started. And there's a new offer coming down the pipe that I can't tell you a lot of details about, but it's for those people who are already deep into side hustle land and they need to make it more profitable and keep it service oriented. That's all I'm doing right now. If there's something in particular that you're looking for, let me know. And if I don't do it, I probably know somebody who does, and I can connect you with those folks. All right. Elizabeth says, I got so much done. I'm feeling good about that. Marketing equals scary. I know. There's so much vulnerability in marketing. In therapy, you get to sit in a room where you have the power in the room. Somebody else is being vulnerable. So you're safe. With marketing, we're really putting ourselves out in the public eye, and there's more of a chance of rejection or people being mean or, not getting clients and then feeling like, oh man, I guess I'm not a good therapist, when really it was just the messaging wasn't on point and you need a little help massaging the messaging. So I know marketing can be scary. The thing that I've learned about marketing over the years that I really, really appreciate is that there are lots of paths to getting your private pay clients. There is a structure. Everybody's going to follow the same structure, but there are, how do I put it? The structure is the same for everyone. The framework is the same, but the way you achieve like the check boxes on the framework can be different. So if you're like, Amber, I hate the idea of networking, which you probably won't once I teach you how to do it. But if you hated it, super introverted, socially phobic, whatever it happens to be, then we can just increase the marketing that you're doing in one of the other pillars to compensate for that. If you hate social media, which you don't need to use a lot of social media to fill your practice anyway, we can do something else that fills up a different pillar to compensate for not doing that. All right. Amy's saying, random question. Is there a ring light you like best? I was in session last night and the lamp behind my computer made me look ghostly. Honestly, no. They're all the freaking same. The thing that I think is important is that it has a dimmer and brightness measure on it. So you can go up or down depending on, how the weather's changing outside. And also that it has a tone changer. So I'll show you on mine. Hold on. Let me get to it. All right. So let's see here. We're going to change the tone. So I can change the brightness. And then I can also, let's turn that down because it's going to blind me. I can also change the tone. So that's more of like a pinkish. That's more of a yellowish. This is like a bright white. And it changes how I look, right? So you could see like I looked a little ghostly there for a minute. And if I go through them, it depends, Amy. Like the way my window's oriented, it depends on where the sun is. Sometimes I get a lot of shade on one side of my face. So it depends. Something I found that worked really freaking well when I wasn't in front of a window when we were in Colorado, I have to face a wall, which I don't like. But if I bounce my ring light off the white wall, it gives me really great coverage and it doesn't show up in my glasses. So I really, really liked that. How to market to international clients? Do I list rates and other currencies on websites? That's a good question. You can do that. Most people understand the USD pretty well, because we're spoiled rotten over here. So you don't have to. But when you're marketing to international clients, we're still doing marketing based on niche. We're still kind of doing content marketing because content marketing goes well beyond any particular range. If you're working with folks internationally with a focus on, like third culture kids or something like that, we're definitely going to be using those keywords in your copy. And then there is also a website called International Therapy Directory that you might want to look into. Ray, I might have missed them. Let me go up. Oh, there we go. Travel between my therapy state and others throughout the year and have a hard time making good connections with other therapists, even though I'm in many Facebook groups. Any ideas on how to network? I don't find other therapists to be amazing at networking or referring. So when I am looking for therapists to connect to, I'm looking for therapists who are treating a population that's not my own, um, but is like they're going to run into people that are mine. Or they really, really don't like working with a particular group of people. Like a lot of people don't love working with complex trauma clients. I loved it. So a lot of therapists were like, yeah, just give me anxiety, send Amber the complex trauma people. Or if you work with survivors of domestic violence and you connect with somebody who works with the perpetrators of domestic violence, that's a real good connection to make, right? Because you have complementary services. So I would look for therapists with complementary services. I would expect, typically with networking, when you reach out to 10 people, one person is going to respond. That's the stats. With therapists, I would expect 1 in 15 to respond. So that tells you how many people you need to be sending messages to get responses. I prefer to connect with other types of providers. So providers that my therapy clients might be seeing, like, chiropractors or holistic healers or med spas or endocrinologists or gynecologists or general practitioners or psychiatrists. They obviously don't provide therapy. And so they're more likely to not feel competitive about referrals. And we can offer complementary services. Good supervisor. I know several really great clinical supervisors, if that's what you mean. They're clinical supervisors, so they're not business mentors. And if you want those names, my favorite people to refer to are Carol O'Sabin and Matt Zimmerman. They're fantastic. Mm. Pamela's got good advice. Good. All right. We've got just a couple minutes left, so drop any last questions that you have. I really appreciate all of the participation today. I was a little worried because there weren't any questions showing up. I'll spell it for you in the chat. I don't think she's in this group, but she is in the online therapist group. There we go. Carol Sabin. Whoops. Okay. And then Matt Zimmerman. I've had Matt for a clinical supervisor myself. He was freaking fantastic. And Carol and I worked together for a long time in a counseling center. So I know her clinical work very well. She has become my very best friend. And she's just a killer clinician. Really, really, really good. Trying to think of anybody else off the top of my head. Oh, you know what? Gwen Harrington um, is a great supervisor as well. All right. See, great. Pamela says, I connect with those who are working in the age positive anti aging area, particularly women. I also volunteer with dementia related groups. Yes. Awesome, friends. Okay, next week is our very last week of the step by step course and the step by step live support. So make sure that you put in any questions that you have. It looks like the little zap that we use to send questions over to my spreadsheet doesn't always work same day. No big deal. You can just put your questions in the comments if you're like, oh crap, it's the day of or it's the day before, and I don't know if my question's coming through. It's okay. You can put it in the comment. It is really helpful to me when you submit the questions ahead of time because I can group them together and we get kind of more depth. All right. I will talk to you next week. I hope that you have a really good one. Take good care.